You think the universe is a safe place? That civilizations advanced enough to cross galaxies must surely be enlightened, peaceful, and immune to fear. Well, they thought the same. Until they studied us. Until they tried to map the labyrinth of the human mind, and found something waiting inside. Something that should never have been disturbed. The year was 2471. A coalition of interstellar scientists from the Zeltar Dominion, a race whose technological prowess dwarfed humanity by millennia, initiated what was supposed to be a simple cultural study. Their mission was to understand the most peculiar and primitive species ever admitted to the galactic concord, humans. They'd catalogued human physiology, language, behaviors, and history. Fascinating, but manageable. Predictable. Until they reached the frontier science of human consciousness, specifically, the phenomenon humans called dreams. Dreams. Random neuron firings. Mental noise. Or so the Zeltar believed. Simple. Trivial. Or so they thought. The research began aboard the Ecliptica Prime, a research vessel floating beyond the edge of the Andromeda Rift. Aboard were 5 of the Zeltar's finest neural scientists. Cold. Logical. Supreme beings who had conquered disease, entropy, and even death in some forms. Dr. Vilek, the lead consciousness engineer, had always believed that minds were systems. Systems could be mapped. Simulated. Understood. When they downloaded the first neural scans from a human test subject, subject ID, HN 4382, an ordinary man named Joseph Carter, they prepared to enter the simulation of his subconscious. Not physically, of course. Their species could interface neurally with digital constructs. They would merely observe. Witness. Map. But the moment the system initialized, something went wrong. The neural field spiked, readings off any chart they'd ever seen. Dimensional echoes appeared in the data. Fractals layered over fractals, as if reality itself were bending within the simulation. An anomaly, Dr. Vilek murmured. Fascinating. His assistant, Zyril, wasn't so sure. The topology of the mind, it shouldn't look like this. This looks like. She trailed off. It looked like a maze. An infinite one. Walls folding in on themselves. Doors opening to nowhere. Or to somewhere else entirely. Proceed, Vilek ordered. The 5 scientists submerged into the simulation node, an artificial rendering of Joseph Carter's dreaming mind. At first, it was benign. Familiar shapes. A childhood home. A faceless woman standing at a window. Trees bending in wind that didn't exist. The surreal fluidity of dreams, amusingly quaint to the Zeltar. But then, the shadows deepened. Rooms changed when you blinked. Corridors stretched endlessly. Faces appeared in windows but vanished when approached. Zyril reported hearing whispers. Not in any language. Not sound at all. Conceptual noise. Ideas formed into sensations, pressing against her synthetic awareness like cold hands. Simulation integrity dropping, one technician outside warned. But the team inside pressed on. Then, they found the door. It was simple. Wooden. Ordinary. But it radiated something no dream object should, intent. It's just a construct, Vilek said. But the door was locked. Then, it wasn't. It swung open. What followed, has no perfect description in any language. A landscape. No. A consciousness. A presence. An ocean of black filled with forms that did not obey physics, nor geometry. Fractured reflections of humanoid figures floated in the void, screaming without mouths, bleeding colors that didn't exist on the electromagnetic spectrum. They were not manifestations of Joseph Carter. They were older. Deeper. Primal. As if the collective unconscious of the entire human species had coalesced here, into something alive. Something waiting. Exit the simulation. Zyril screamed, but her interface controls failed. One by one, the scientists began convulsing in the real world, their neural links refusing to sever. Their minds were occupied. In the simulation, shapes began to move. Not toward them. Around them. Circling. Observing. Then whispering. Words not meant for the conscious mind. Symbols carved directly into thought. The first to die was Dr. Rello. His consciousness collapsed inward, his avatar simply folded into itself like paper crushed by an unseen fist. The others screamed, but not externally. Their real bodies were comatose. Only their digital minds writhed as their identities began to fracture. The ship's AI attempted an emergency shutdown. It failed. The anomaly was now infecting the system itself. Suddenly, lights aboard Ecliptica Prime flickered. Data cores overloaded. Even the failsafe quantum destruct couldn't engage. When the retrieval team arrived, 3 standard hours later, they found Ecliptica Prime adrift. Silent. All 5 scientists were dead. No. Worse. 4 of them were dead. The 5th, Dr. Vilek, was alive. But, changed. His body was intact, but his neural patterns were fragmented beyond recognition. He screamed, constantly. Unbroken. For days. Weeks. Until he stopped. Not because he healed. Because his mind, simply disconnected. They tried everything. Neurological restoration. AI therapy. Genetic memory reconstruction. Nothing worked. Vilek remains in a stasis facility to this day. Silent. Blank-eyed. Unresponsive. His last recorded words, whispered again and again until his throat failed. It was never their dreams. It was never theirs. The Federation classified the event. Sealed the files. Declared human consciousness as level black hazardous material. All neural interfacing with human minds, dreams, thoughts, memories, was banned by galactic law. But. Across back channels. Hidden forums. There are still those who wonder. What did they see? What exists within the collective subconscious of a species forged by millions of years of fear, violence, hope, and madness? No one knows. Because no one else has ever been brave, or foolish, enough to try again. And Joseph Carter? The man whose mind was the vessel for this catastrophe? Completely normal. Never knew. Never will. And somewhere, in the quiet void of space, something stirs. Waiting. Smiling.